A noun meaning
Fuck you.
phraseology. A noun meaning a manner of organizing words and phrases into longer elements. Style. Phraseology originates.
Yes! That's the first one where I was like, I've never used phraseology before.
Pavlova. A noun
That's a
meaning a
cake.
dessert of Australian and New Zealand origin. Slumgullion. A noun meaning a meat stew. Cesspool originates from slum slime. An English dialect gullion meaning mud. Slumgullion. A noun meaning a meat stew.
Sorry, what? Slumgullion?
Slumgullion. A noun meaning a meat stew. Cesspool originates from slum slime. An English dialect gullion meaning mud. Slumgullion. A noun meaning a meat stew. Cesspool originates from slum slime. An
No! It's not Slumgullion? My streak.
tussock. A noun meaning a compact tuft, especially of grass or sedge. Also, an area of raised solid ground in a marsh or bog that is bound together by roots of low vegetation. The word's origin is not known or established. Tussock. A noun meaning a compact tuft, especially of grass or sedge.
Fuck. Should have known if it's British, it's never IC, right? It's always OCK.
Stevedore. A noun meaning one who...
Thank you.
Catachresis. A noun meaning use of the wrong word for the context. Catachresis originates from Greek, meaning to use up or misuse.
From Greek. Oh, I thought for sure it would be... I spelled it in the Grecian form.
Aspersions. A noun meaning a false or misleading...
See results? How do we do today? Copy results to clipboard? I get it. Can I see my percentile, bro? I thought we did a pretty good job, honestly. 3 wrong out of 15. Go ahead, put me on hard.
Temblor. A noun meaning earthquake. Temblar, meaning to tremble, is derived from medieval Latin word tremulare. Temblor. A noun meaning earthquake. Temblar, meaning to tremble, is derived from medieval Latin word tremulare. Temblor.
The man got it right. Temblor. What do you call this? Picture of an earthquake? A temblor.
Pneumaticist. A noun meaning the air bladder of certain algae and aquatic plants. Pneumaticist. A noun meaning the air bladder of certain algae and aquatic plants.
Pneumaticist.
A noun meaning the...
No! With an O, of course.
Merengue. A noun meaning a ballroom dance of Haitian and Dominican origin in 2/4 time. In
Merengue. No problem.
disembogue. A verb meaning to flow or come forth from or as if from a channel. Desembocar is a Spanish word originating from Latin, meaning to put into the mouth. Disembogue.
The man's a genius. Can you be my high score in spell check? I'd love to see you try.
Quantum.
Oh,
A noun meaning
come
quantity
on,
amount.
Marvel viewers?
Fossiliferous, adjective meaning containing fossils. Fossiliferous, adjective meaning containing fossils. Fossiliferous, adjective meaning containing fossils. Fossiliferous, adjective meaning containing...
Yes!
Impugn. A verb meaning to assail...
That's wrong. Impugn? I-M-P-U-N-E. Oh, it's I-M-P-U-G-N. It's like a Florence Pugh type thing.
Wickiup. A noun meaning a hut used by the nomadic Indians of the arid regions of the western and southwestern U.S., with a usually oval base and a rough frame covered with reed mats, grass, or brushwood. Also, a rude temporary shelter or hut. Wikiapi is a fox word from the Algonquian language meaning house. Wikiup. A noun meaning...
That's wrong. We got that one wrong.
Proscenium, a noun meaning the stage of an ancient Greek or Roman theater. Proscenion is from Latin and Greek, meaning front of stage or dramatic background. Proscenium, a noun meaning the stage of an ancient Greek or Roman theater. Proscenion is from Latin and Greek, meaning front of stage or dramatic background. Proscenium, a noun meaning the stage of an ancient...
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Sinuously. A adjective meaning of a serpentine or wavy form. Winding.
That does not look right.
Sinuosus originates from Latin, derived from sinus, meaning curve or fold. Sinuously. A adjective meaning of a serpentine or wavy form. Winding. Sinuosus originates from Latin, derived from sinus, meaning curve or fold. Sinuously. A adjective meaning of a serpentine or wavy form. Winding. Sinuosus originates.
Yes! Dude, they gotta turn this into a BR, bro. This is high octane content.
Clavichord. A noun meaning an early keyboard instrument having strings.
No, clavichord! With an H. With an H. Clavichord. Some Wes Anderson shit. Okay, that's a great game. I'm gonna add it to my dolls. Spell check XYZ. I love spelling. There's you an idiot. There's no point to learning spelling anymore. Me, a genius. There's no point to knowing anything anymore. Dummy. Your phone will beat your ass in any test of knowledge. It's just an exercise, okay? It's just something you... At the very least, I'm expanding my vocabulary. Like, if we play Lethal Company today and there's, like, a thumper, I can say, be careful, he's moving sinuously. Okay, Sam Altman? Sam Altman freed? I hope not. Didn't they just send him to prison? I went to my first live hockey game. It was very good. It's a fun sport to watch. I was saying it in Apollo's chat. The actual goated second sport... He was saying he's 35, he's not 35, he's like 32 or whatever. He's too old to get into a new sport. I was actually giving him a +2. I'm saying it is harder as you get older. I mean, because time is an issue as well. But the best secondary sport, if it's not your primary sport, is soccer. Let me tell you why. The games are only 90 minutes long, with like a 15-minute break in the middle. You can go out to a pub, order lunch. The game's 10 minutes in. You get your lunch. It's halftime. You finish your lunch. Maybe you have a second drink. The game's over. You got to see the entire game. And it's not like you... If you watched an entire football game in a restaurant, you've been there for like 4 hours. Like, when you get out, it's a different time of the day. You wasted like a quarter of your day just watching the sport. You can actually like fit this into a day where you can still enjoy, you know, some time outside as well. Plus, like, people always say, like, oh, there's, like, I don't understand offside. Offside happens, like, once a game. The rest of it is just dudes chasing their ball. You need, like, you don't need to know all the rules in order to enjoy it. When the ball goes towards the net of the team that you don't like, you cheer. And when it goes the other way, you get a little tense. Like, it's that easy. I mean, the thing is, if you're railing on British football rules... and yet you watch hockey, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're being a hypocrite. Because hockey has way more insane rules that you don't need to know, but you could know them. Like, you know, I've watched so much hockey, I know what the penalty call is going to be, like, 98% of the time before they even call it. I couldn't, like, replicate it for you, but as soon as I see the referee do, like, the hand motion, I'm like, I know what this is. The other thing that's weird about hockey is that, like, you're supposed to take penalties. That's, I think, hard to understand for people that have never seen hockey. There are some situations where, like, taking a penalty is the optimum outcome in order to stop a higher percentage play that's actually worse. You almost say, like, okay, I'm going to give them 2 minutes on the power play rather than let Pavel Bure have, like, an unobstructed shot at the net. That's the case for soccer, too. Hey, Paper Mache Mephistopheles, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you, thank you. That's like football. Yeah, well, football is even crazier. Because, like, as far as I'm concerned, watching a football game, almost every play could be defensive pass interference. Like, that, there's egregious circumstances where you're like, no, this one's definitely defensive pass interference. Or holding, sure. I like that there's situations in football where they decline the penalty. Illegal contact. Unsportsmanlike contact. When did the NFL get so soft, bro? I'm gonna become one of those guys now. You can't even tackle a dude, get up, and then go shout in his face, and then, like, you know, twerk on top of his chest piece anymore. They're like, oh, 2 minutes for taunting. Okay, Sorry, I thought we were trying to sell tickets here. Local Thunk, I don't know if you're here or you'll see this at some point. I've been seeing ads for Balatro on Twitter served by what appears to be... I don't think they stole it from you. I think you're working with them. I wanted to let you know that it's working. The ads are in the rotation. It's like an online poker platform or something that's like, hey, someone turned poker into a roguelite. You say ads don't work yet. You got me eating McDonald's and drinking Coke Zero? Okay, well, listen. You can't legally hold that against me. You're making your own decisions. I will say, I dropped my daughter off at a class on Saturday. I said, you know what? This is a great time for some dad time. I'm going to get some McDonald's breakfast. All the kiosks are in use, except one. I say, I'll go to that kiosk, okay? I buy my sausage McMuffin with 2 hash browns and an iced coffee. I look over at the receipt printer. It says, printer is broken. Then on the screen, it says, look to the window to see when your number is done. And I looked at the window and there were like 30 orders on it and I didn't know what my number was because the receipt didn't work. Cue me becoming like the nosiest motherfucker on the planet. Like anytime they called a number, my ass was like... It's also crazy. I didn't realize how many people go to McDonald's and are just like, I'll take 1 cup of orange pico tea. I would say like 50% of the orders were like a cup of tea. Why not ask what your number is? Bro, because they're fucking busy. Have you ever been inside of one of these McDonald's? It's chop chop. They're going like, one lady had like 19 drink cups lined up and she was just putting stickers on them like 2 orders a second. It was insanity. Anyway, it was so busy. It took like 8 minutes for the breakfast to come out, which is a long time at a McDonald's. Then they said, we're just waiting on your coffee. And I looked at the drink section, and that was when I saw the lady with like 20 cups lined up. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pull a real Chad move here. I sat down and ate my whole breakfast. Then I ripped the receipt off the bag, went back up to the counter and said, hey, I'm just wondering if my coffee's done. And then they gave it to me. Ooh, a little sneaky. I'm not standing up at the counter for another 15 minutes waiting for my drink to get prioritized. I got 2 hash browns here burning a hole in my bag. I'm telling them you didn't use the app? Bro, I use the app. When you go to the kiosk, it gives you like a keypad. You type in a number that is given to you by the app, and then it says you're linked. You're good to go. The apps are flying on your damn brain. Dude, don't, I'm just saying, I know it's not you. I just want Gen Z to, if possible, avoid the same mistakes that millennials have made and every generation before us. Don't punch down at Gen Alpha for watching Skibbity Toilet, okay? Like, I keep seeing these tweets from, like, 22-year-olds that are like, the next generation is fucked. I'm like, brother, look in the mirror, you're fucked. You're 22 years old, farming engagement on social media, dunking on like 5-year-olds, you know, sucking on like a nicotine pouch, and I don't even want to know, man. Arguing in bad faith that like somehow DoorDash is cheaper than buying groceries. Like, we're all cooked, okay? What you need to have is some cross-generational solidarity instead of just being like, wow, Gen Alpha screwed up. You're punching down on Gen Z? No, I'm not punching down on Gen Z. I'm trying to help them avoid a mistake. R/teacher cooks the shit out of kids every day. I mean, I believe that. But I always wonder, like, whenever I see a teacher post that's like, you're right, the kids these days are cooked. I'm a teacher and I can't get my kids to focus in class at all. I am, in my head, I'm kind of like, no disrespect, I bet you actually like suck ass at your job. Because you're posting, it's not because I think like, because the kids don't listen, you're a bad teacher. It's because you're posting on Reddit. Like, that's an indictment of your intelligence as an adult. No disrespect. I'm sure like most of the teachers at your school are complaining about it like in the staff lounge, and they may not be wrong, but like as soon as you start attention farming on Reddit for, you know, like a 7-year-old is disrespectful to me in my class, I'm like, okay, fucking, you knew what teaching was when you signed up, right? Like, you're the 7-year-old, and then you decided, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. Like, that's part and parcel of the experience. You know what's crazy to me? This is a weird place to put a slash marker again. It's crazy to me that every once in a while, you will come across like a dentist on Twitter who is trying to become like a dental content influencer. I feel like something has gone wrong with society that we have people who are genuinely like highly educated, top earning medical professionals, and they're like on top of doing my job, which is stressful, I'm sure. They're like, I want to spend an hour a night on Twitter like farming engagement for being like a dental influencer. The 3 things you should never eat if you want your teeth to be white. Like, bro, can't you just... I'm saying this not to say like, screw you, dental influencer. Instead, I'm more like, don't you want to just like live your life? You did the school. It's a lot of school. You got the degree. You got the practice. You're doing the work. Don't you want to work like, you know, 7-8 hours a day, 5 days a week, go home, spend time with your family, pursue hobbies and stuff like that, engage with culture, engage with art, go out to eat at like a new restaurant? You really want to be like... It's kind of sad to me that there's something in the human brain that's like, enough isn't enough, you know what I mean? They're like, after I finish my work, I gotta get on there and grind. I need like 8 more TikToks to pop about how you should never be eating Dunkaroos. And I'm like, they know that. They know they shouldn't be eating the Dunkaroos to begin with. Maybe he's so passionate about his craft, he wants to tell others. Come on, brother. They're all Gary Vaynerchuk listeners. You know it. I'm trying to meet them on a human level, rather than, you know, validate their you should always be hustling sort of attitude, which I think is poison. I think it's poisoning them. I'm not worried that it's poisoning other people. I'm worried that it's poisoning them. They could be doing something more valuable, in my opinion. They could be doing something more valuable with their time. On the other hand, I think if you're insane, you should keep being an influencer, no matter your profession. Did you see the TikTok lawyer who said there's a lot of things you actually don't have to do in society? You don't have to pay your taxes. If you are summoned to court or even to prison, you don't have to show up. That's because you are living a lie as an avatar of someone who they have given you an illegal name that is supposed to be symbolic and represent you, but it doesn't actually represent you. And I was like, she's cooking, man. She is going off.
I think that most of us have been aware of something being off in the US. And if you felt that way, I'm going to give you the real talk. Okay? So the real talk is that taxes are fraudulent. I know people freak out when I say that. When people say, oh no, taxes are fraudulent. They are. You don't need to be paying. You also actually don't need to have insurance. It's good to have it just for like ethical, moral purposes. You're not required to, okay? The state requires you to. You're not required to. I'm saying some controversial things for this morning. Same thing goes for a marriage certificate, marriage license. Y'all don't need that. Going to prison, getting summoned to court, you don't need to do any of that either, okay? You're not required to. The only reason you are is because your legal fiction, which is your all caps name, which is who you are taught to believe you are, you're not actually that. You're a living man or woman, but you have been led to believe that you are all that all caps name that is on your driver's license, that is on your social security card, that is on your birth. If you're not familiar with what that is, go watch my sovereignty lessons. They just charge you up the ass for stuff. That's why life feels so expensive. This is why, because you've given jurisdiction over to this Admiralty Maritime law system, which isn't actually the law of the land, okay? What the founding fathers intended for our country. They wanted a republic. They created a republic. And then over time, these international banking cartels just sneakily took over the system and implemented the Admiralty Maritime law in our government, and that's what our country runs on, and then they implemented democracy as the standard rather than a republic.
It is crazy that before you say you should buy index funds that track like the S&P 500, you have to say this isn't financial advice, even though it obviously is. But if you're a lawyer on TikTok, you could literally just be like, this is legal advice, get it twisted. You do not have to pay your bills. It's based on British naval law. You take them one at a time. I see.
Job's done there. Yes, me lord.
It's one of those one at a time type situations. Briefly became Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin. Sorry, sinuses are full. One moment, please. Drake featuring Lil Yachty. Me explaining to my immune system that if you just keep influenza type A antibodies on hand, you won't need to rebuild them every flu season. Oh, thank you. Oh, of course. Why didn't I think of that? I will select the manacle. You need the ASMR lean the lady on TikTok made. Oh, you mean the Sleepy Girl mocktail? I watched that without sound on, so I don't know exactly what was in it. But I did see that it was called the Sleepy Girl mocktail. And it was Sprite and Jolly Ranchers, and I can only assume that there was cough medicine as well. It was non-sleeve. Here's my thing, okay? I'm not suggesting you should drink lean at all. I'm not suggesting you should drink lean. But isn't it all, any influencers here, any pharmacological influencers here to back me up? Isn't the bad part about lean is the dosage, right? If you are sick and you just put like 1 dose of NyQuil into the Sprite, what's the difference between that and just having a Coke Zero and a dose of NyQuil? And nobody would look at you funny. Lean is codeine? Well, I'm just saying if you're going to take the codeine cough medicine anyway. Don't, though? Yeah, obviously. I'm just saying, it's not like it becomes like nuclear when you put it into the Sprite, okay? I just feel like the Sprite is kind of getting raked over the coals. The Sprite didn't do anything wrong, man. It's recreational use of an addictive substance. Excuse me, I said when you're sick. That's the best part of being sick, is that you have a great excuse to take NyQuil. Can I tell you something as well, by the way? So, my wife was very sick this weekend. I had a lot of daddy-daughter time. We were driving around on Saturday. She said, "Daddy, tell me a joke." Okay? I said, sometimes this is just something that happens. Your kid will ask you to tell a joke, and if you can't remember one, then you just got to make one up. So, she said, "Daddy, tell me a joke." I said, "Knock, knock." She said, "Who's there?" I said, "Monkey." She said, "Monkey who?" I said, "Monkey who, who, ha, ha, ha." She said, she didn't laugh. She said, "Ha, ha, 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 ha. That's very funny." Then she said, "Tell me another one." I said, "Knock, knock." She said, "Who's there?" I said, "Doggy." She said, "Doggy who?" I said, "Doggy roo, 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 roo." And then she stone-faced me and said, "That one's not funny at all." It's the same joke. But, and you know what? Is she wrong? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's right. Maybe I lost commitment on the last one. I lost confidence in myself. If you're on the start of this YouTube video, I apologize. It comes from stream. I have to blow my nose. I'm going to pause, or I'm going to mute.
What? Yes, me lord. Job done. Job done. Our allies' town is under siege. Job done. Job done.
The human body is actually so stupid. Like, it's amazing, but at the same time, it's like, I guess it feels bad if you're the immune system. Like, a virus infects you, and you're like, all hands on deck, raise body temperature by 4 degrees to sweat the virus out. Now, release mucus to trap the virus so that it can't get into the sensitive parts. And then the human is like, oh, I have a fever, and I've got a lot of snot. Let me take a decongestant. Let me take, like, an anti-fever medicine. Your immune system's got to be like, what the heck, bro? I'm trying to kill this thing here.
Job's done. Job's done.
Management keeps getting in my way. I feel like you could go crazy counting cards in Vegas.
Job's done.
So my friend of mine, one of my housemates in university, and we learned how to count cards, which is one of those things that sounded really cool, but it turns out is actually like the easiest thing of all time. Basically, you just, when you're playing blackjack, it's like if you maintain like a count. And if a big card comes out, you go like +1 to your count. And if a low card comes out, you go -1. I might have the numbers reversed. So we were like, brother, we're geniuses for learning this. We're the only people that could possibly figure this out. Let's go to the casino, go to the $5 minimum table, and then clean them out. Got to the casino, sat down, started playing blackjack, going pretty well. You remember, we're university students. 3 minutes after we sit down, the server comes over and says, "Can I get you guys anything?" We'll say, "Yeah. I guess we'll take a couple of beers." An hour later, didn't have a very good appraisal of the counts. But I had a good time at the casino. I came out like basically like it was a wash. And I was like, okay, I think honestly that was probably more fun. Probably more fun to just go, you know, gamble for a little bit with free drinks. I just caught up watching Bob last night. He's so good. He's okay. He's okay. I do love when that's like one of the first parts of Twitch culture. I remember that is like he puts like a smear on the canvas, and everyone's like, "No, it's ruined." And then like a second later, he takes out a scraper and goes, and everyone's like, "Saved! He did it! I can't believe it!" IMO, the builder, is better than the architect. I'd have to give you a plus 2 on that one for sure. I don't undervalue the architect, I think, but I value the builder higher than most. Just my 2 cents. Why? Because they're the ones mixing up the brick and mortar, bro. Brick and mortar mentioned! Let's go! Where's my Szechuan sauce? I'm gonna eat Lay's dill pickle chips on pickle lips. Okay, true, you are. I got a bag of those in my cupboard right now. I'll go out on a limb. Now, I like pickles, and I like dill pickles. I actually think that the dill pickle flavored salt is better than a dill pickle. Because you don't have to deal with the wetness and the juiciness of a dill pickle, but you still get that beautiful pickle flavor. They broke the mold in the food laboratory when they made dill pickle salt, because it tastes so much like a pickle. Like ketchup chips, you're like, it's good that it doesn't taste that much like ketchup, but it's like, you know that it's merely a facsimile. I would rather have like some dill pickle chips than the pickle. Pickles are so creamy though. That's bait. Bait used to be believable. Also, like, I'm sorry to say, onion carries sour cream and onion. I don't want to pit 2 bad bitches against each other, but straight up, sour cream was nothing until onion came to the table. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to get too controversial. It's only Monday. I gotta live on this website for the next few days. What about cheese and onion? Out of respect for my friends across the pond, I choose not to weigh in. But all I'm going to say is that we kind of don't operate with cheese and onion chips here. We also call them Lays instead of Blockers. Just something to keep in mind if you want to visit. Do you have prawn cocktail flavored chips? Listen, United Kingdom, we have to have a serious conversation. Prawn cocktail? I would eat them, okay? Because they basically almost never made a chip that tastes bad because potatoes and salt are so goated. What does prawn cocktail taste like though? Does it taste like the cocktail sauce? They taste like the shrimp chips. The one thing I will say, and I don't want, you know, anybody to suffer like as a result of what I'm about to say, so I'd like to apologize. I do think that shrimp chips are close to the worst snack that's ever been invented. I understand a lot of people do enjoy them, and they have my sympathy. I've eaten a lot of them, and I did live in Asia, well, in Korea specifically, so I've been given them as like a snack all the time. They taste just like cat food to me. Or they taste like cat food smells. Surely you've tried cat food just to wonder? No, I don't have to. I've tried shrimp chips. Also, like whenever I smell something and it smells bad, I trust my brain most of the time. And I go, that's my brain's way of telling me that I probably would not enjoy the flavor of that because smell and taste are like 98% overlapped. Hey, now how many golf balls can your toilet flush? I bet it could take 3 golf balls, if I had to guess. That's low? Well, golf balls are not supposed to be flushed down your fucking toilet, bro. I'm not even totally sure it could take one golf ball, to be honest with you. I was meeting the question as if it came from a place of good faith. You need a new toilet? It's a pretty good toilet. It's a perfectly cromulent toilet. I just don't think you should be flushing that stuff. It's like irritating too, because it's the same people who were like, you know, one time I was like, oh, I didn't have toilet paper, so I had to use tissue to wipe my butt. And people were like, you can't flush tissue down the toilet. And now we're out here like, how many golf balls can you put down it? Well, I don't know. I've never tried it. I've never wiped my ass with a golf ball. I don't even have a golf ball in my house. You ever flushed a diaper? No, I don't want to. Listen. In order for there to be a flushing something that you can't flush, there's got to be an incentive. What's the incentive for flushing a tissue? I didn't have toilet paper. I still had to wipe my ass. You know, sure, I could have gotten undressed, hopped in the shower, and like just washed the shit down the drain or something like that. But you know, this is a situation where you gotta do something. You know, the rubber meets the road. I'm not gonna flush a diaper. Like that's just gonna clog my pipes for no reason. I used to flush condoms down the toilet. That's fucking disgusting, man. You're adding some dude's cum to the water supply? You know I drink that water every single day, bro. Now I gotta think I'm drinking the sum total of the municipality's semen reservoirs. There's already so much cum in the water. You're probably right. I mean, it's kind of disgusting to think of all the stuff that is like not just in the water, but like surrounding us in the air at all times. Like I'm not even worried about. I think this is why getting like educated in biology actually made me more grossed out by it. Like when you're a kid, it's a friend's birthday party, you're on the lake, you're like, yeah, I'll go swimming. Now I'm like, ew, there's fucking amoebas and parameciums and. Like, there's a whole world down there in the water. Little fish are biting at my toes and stuff like that. And seaweed grabs your foot, but you don't think it's seaweed. You're like, something grabbed my fucking foot. And they're like, it's seaweed. And you're like, no, it wasn't, bro. I felt like a hand wrap around my ankle, okay? And tried to drag me down to the deep. Right? For me, it's the little bugs and, like, the unicellular life or, like, very, very small life. If you take like a little bit of lake water and put it under a microscope, you see a bunch of like little translucent crabs in the water and stuff like that. And meanwhile, you're going, oh, it's so good, it's so good. But then when you really think about it, like you got that shit like all over your face to begin with, right? Like you got all those bugs in like your sebaceous glands and your eyebrows and stuff like that are crawling along the individual hairs. They're finding like a single molecule of facial oil and then going like, then going back and using that to have like 100,000 progeny. Like life is fucking disgusting, bro. But it's never getting like less gross. So I guess you might as well just enjoy it. My mites are chill. I mean, my mites, as far as I know, they're chill too, but can you imagine Yoda and Yaddle fucking like little freaks on Tatooine? Did they live on Tatooine? Did they have their marital home on Tatooine? I think it's kind of sweet to imagine two Yodas fucking going to town, bro. That's love. Does Yoda's species have like a name? I always just call them Yodas. Which is like, it might not be the name, but it's like when I say it, like, it's not like you don't know what I'm talking about. It's like calling all humans Hitlers. Well, that's only if Hitler trained like Luke Skywalker, which I don't think that's a fucked up situation. I don't want to know what World War II would have been like if Luke Skywalker was fighting for the Axis forces. I haven't seen Zone of Interest yet, by the way, no spoilers. That's just sending a chill down my spine. I don't even want to think about that. I think it's likely that probably Luke Skywalker still would have died. I think he would have been hit by like an artillery shell. I don't think a lightsaber can parry like an artillery shell from a Sherman tank. So it's so good. I'll admit, like just like anybody else among us, I love getting angry at the internet, and that the thing that I was getting angry at over the last couple of days was definitely that the zone of interest review from Letterboxd where they gave it 1 star and were like, how are we expected to tolerate watching this family go about their boring lives when they live next to a concentration camp? And even having not seen the film, just knowing like the book that it's based on, I'm like, you're supposed to think about that, bro. That's part of it's not the only reason, but it's like it's one thing you should be thinking about. Hey guys, sorry to say, I did a bit where I said which of my friends would get killed if we lived in the 13th century and we all got infected with the bubonic plague. Me, Corey, and Chiblee, we're toast. Sorry.
Why? Why?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've seen the stuff that you eat, and it seems somewhat counterproductive.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
You should have not apologized because you pissed me off. I think back then, bro, if you're eating like royalty, like you're eating fucking bread and jam all day, bro, you accidentally eat one piece of shit, you're done for. If you're eating pieces of shit all day, every day, you're fucking chilling, bro. You're used to it. The shit I eat is making me OP.
Okay, I'm amending my expectation. I think you would probably get really sick and maybe like suffer permanent disfigurement, but you would.
Exactly, because that is literally what happened to me IRL, bro. I got really sick and I'm still here, bro.
Are you saying I wouldn't get sick with that?
Yes. Well, I said you would get sick, but you would just body it.
That's fair. I do, when I do get sick, I do tend to like handle it pretty well. Except for COVID. COVID was a nightmare.
They would have killed me back then, I think.
I have like the best strat. When I get sick, like I don't know why, Subway is like a cure.
Dude, I love that you said that.
I get a Subway sandwich. Like day one, when you like hit the height of sick, nothing's helping you. You just gotta power through it. You're like that's the worst time. You just gotta make it through. Like day 2 though, when you're coming down off of that, a sandwich is gonna speed that shit up so fast.
You really want that sponsorship, huh?
No, I'm just like, for some reason, that's like the sandwich that I started with, and now it's like a thing, it's like a placebo. Like, it has to be Subway.
I haven't had Subway in probably like 6 months now, but last week I was like, I could really go for a sandwich, and I think you've reverse Pavlov me. It's because I was sick. I was like, man, a foot of bread would go crazy right now.
It helps. Like, it's just something about it, because you know you need to eat when you're sick. Everyone always tells you, you gotta eat, you know, it's how you get better. You keep drinking, keep eating. It's like a sandwich is just like the perfect everything meal where you just feel like, you know, this is what mom would want to eat, you know?
Oh yeah, why would I die?
I just feel like you and me are always like, whatever's going around, we got it.
Dude, I didn't have COVID forever.
I've still never had it. So
what are you
and
talking
the
about?
plague is roasting my ass. So I'm sorry.
Ryan,
You're going
Brad,
down with me.
You've had that shit,
Bro,
the last
I've been tested. I've been testing every time, man.
You can get false negatives, man.
Yeah, but I should trust the tests.
I'm just saying, like, the fact that I got it and you didn't doesn't make mathematical sense.
You were somehow the sickest person I know.
Yeah, you're sick.
Like
One of those was COVID. I'm sorry to tell you.
Pretty sick.
I've never tested positive for it. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I'm built different.
Have you ever been sick where you have like a fever and your body hurts?
Yeah, that's like every illness, though.
Is it every
Sounds like you got COVID, bro.
I'm not saying
I
I've
can't
never
join the
had